All right, guys, just want to show you really quickly the target flow trading system, the scalper. This is the indicator we have that lets you in and out of the market really quick, usually within about a minute or two on your trades. We're going to walk through this. So this is available within our trading subscription, $10 per month. You get access to this indicator as well as a few others to help you with your trading. Okay, so this does give buy and sell signals, but obviously you need to analyze the market as well to see where things are going. But let me just quickly explain this to you. Let me just zoom in here. You can see there are some entries, your stop loss, and your take profit. Okay, so that's the basics of it. Blue line is where you would enter, blue is where, or green was where you would take your profit, and red is if it went down, you stopped out. Okay, so this is opening market. Today is the 15th, Wednesday, the 15th of October. We don't usually take the first 15 minutes of the market, and I'll explain why. Okay, because up here we have our ATR data box, which tells us what the market conditions are and how many contracts to use based on how much we want to risk per contract. So if I want to risk $75, it may be only 2 contracts, right? If I want to do 150, it may be 4 or 5. If I want to risk $500, it'd be a lot more contracts, right? We're trading in micros with this, so you can put in there, as many as you want to make money. Now, we'll see that change here, so don't pay attention too much to it right now, but I'll explain it here in a little bit. So if we'd have taken this first trade, obviously it did pay out into a winner, but here's the thing, okay? Here's your entry, there's your profit, which is roughly 20, 25 ticks, somewhere in that area, okay? Now, as the market continues to go, let's look at this one here. This is just a few minutes later, and we're into the 65, 70 range for that, okay? Because the market is basically saying the last 10 candles back here, what was our average range? Well, it was in that 25 to 30 range. Now, this is fine to make profits, but what if you're in the wrong direction, right? The market goes up. Now, these are Heikin-Ashi candles, so the market was never up here. It actually it opened right here and went down really quick. I was watching it, so, but this is kind of where the market was. And Heikin-Ashi just opens up in the middle of this one and then goes down. So it was never stopped out. But anyway, so that's why we kind of wait. We let the market kind of put its direction in. Then we kind of have a better idea when these numbers here would then tell us. So that would, if it first said 25, then as the market went on, it changes, okay? So that's how we determine how much we want to risk or how many ticks we need it to go to hit our target of whatever. So let's just come over here and let's just put in here, we're going to do 5 units. Take profit of 65 and 70. We'll just put this back to 65 as well. Okay, so now you're seeing we're going to risk $162. Well, this right here is probably set, I think it's set at $50 or $75. Let's just go 2. So you're at $65. We're higher than the number. Yeah, so this must be set at a $50 target for you to trade, okay? So 50. But let's say if this was showing 92, well, we put this at 92. And again, you can kind of adjust this. Now we're at $92. Well, we're only supposed to be at 50, so we need to only trade 1 contract. I think you get the point. The point is this helps you stay within good money management rules for you guys to get the trade. So again, when the market slows down, maybe this is only in the 20 or 30 range, then you would use 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts, okay? Anyway, so we didn't trade the first 15 minutes. Let's get back into this. Even though these signals did work out, this one, barely came above. So this is another rule here. If you take a buy, and I'll show you one here later, it needs to go above the blue line on a buy. Now this one does have a tick going right above it if you look at that, but if you're watching the market and you know it's a downtrend, you can just make a judgment call and hold off there. If you're marketing in, you can take that. So that would have obviously been a loss right there, but again, we're not trading that first 15 minutes. We're letting the market make its adjustments. Okay, so this one here, again, 15 minutes, this one actually turned out and would have been a loss, right? Because you would have got in hoping to go down and go up. So that's, again, why we take these positions where we do. So our first trade of the day is at 7:50, 9:50 Eastern. Market got in, we made money, okay? Again, wait out the first 15 minutes, let it play out, then look for the next position, okay? Another trade happened here a little bit later. Entry was here, did take a few minutes to get there, never came down to our stop. Now this exit is a thing that's built in here. It's an overbought or oversold market flow index, so you can adjust that to give you a better idea of where you want it to be, and you can obviously ride the trends up if you want. If you're looking for that longer term trends, you can definitely do that, but it doesn't give one on every signal. There's no sell signal here. So anyway, just an extra idea. Sometimes this helps if you get a signal right here and you're like, oh, maybe I better hold off, or maybe take some profits, move my stop up, things like that. So just be aware that it could be an overbought signal, but obviously it wasn't so much. This is a 1-minute chart and it did continue up, so good time to, it did have a retrace and settle, then it kept going. So all right, here we are. We have a buy here. Price never really got up here. So with a switch really quick like this is hard with any trading system if you're getting back-to-back signals, okay? So you could take your switch, there you probably would have been pretty close to break even, and then obviously it came down and did hit your target here, okay? And I've got some stuff here showing, if I show you the signals here, I says I held off. The pink dot appeared right after the signal. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. With this give it green, that pink dot, that tells you kind of where it's going to be. If it's a sell, be prepared. And that pink dot showed up right away, so I held off. Okay, let me just close these out so these are a cleaner chart. Okay, so sell here. Again, this one would have been a loss. This one I would have never got in because look, price never got above that blue line to go up. Okay, so you held off. Okay, sell signal came in, hit down profit. Okay, it's within a tick or two there. You always want to be 1 tick or 2 tick above there, but it did come down and it actually hit you out there further down. But again, this one here, kind of a tough one to know if you want to get into. Market was kind of crazy right here. Let's see if I got any notes in here yet. Yeah, choppy, not sure which way to go. So the market was just so slow in here moving. And you still have to pay attention to this. You still have to look at the signals and say, is this something I'm willing to trade? No, the market was super slow, okay? Waiting for some direction. Okay, we'll leave this on for now so you can just kind of see where things played out, okay? So we did not take this trade. Why? Because it did not come above. Now, it did come above the second candle, but I always say, hey, the first signal after the candle, if it does not get up there, don't take it. Wait. Don't wait for a second or third, because you can see this one. It did come up, but it never hit our target, okay? So hold off on that one. That's what this little sign here says. This one came in. Next minute, we came down. A couple minutes later, we were in it. But this one did get us in profit right away and just took a couple minutes to hit that green line. Okay, so here was another one. A sell one did come down, but we were stopped out. It gave us a buy. Never got in because it never crossed that line. Okay, so here's a sell. So we had a little bit of choppy morning, but we still were profitable for the day. So came down here. Which one is this one? It's a buy. Enter here. Came up and got us out. Now this one here is listed as a sell. Sorry, that's my dog. This one's listed as a no trade because it came up here and got you in with some profit there. You could have moved your stop up if you wanted to, but if not, then you got your sell, one candle later to get you into the market there for that. So it did come down. It did take a minute to get down there, but it did. This one, again, you would have never got into, never crossed that line. Market's trending down, okay? All right, so sell signal here, entry came down. So it was a little bit of a choppy day. If you're not really watching the market or only watching your price action, you definitely could be having a few of these if you're not watching out or getting into some of these trades. Maybe you shouldn't, okay? So market came down, did another sell, gave us profits, within a minute or two later right over here. Another sell, came in, took us out there, okay? So then we have a buy. So then at 10 o'clock, noon Eastern, I stopped trading this, but you can see this one did come up right up to the point there. I did put a smiley face there, but it may have missed it by a tick or two, depending on where you put your profit here. But again, always, secure profits. When you're halfway through, move your stop up to at least break even, and then just kind of trail it up as you're going up, okay? So we don't trade this time of day because you can see we get a lot of signals, that they're just kind of choppy. Yes, some of them do pay out. This one paid out. This one paid out. Would not got in on this one. Let's see, down sell, you would have been, this one you would have been fine, making money. So there's still profits to be made, and we're still pretty good on the market right now. So there's good money to be made here. But again, we don't usually trade that. So, but still, there's definitely good signals. That's why these candles are grayed out. So anyway, I think we're about a 75%, 73% rate today on our wins. Again, if you're counting these ones, I don't really count them as wins or losses. They're usually break even within a few profits made, a few losses, ticks lost. So we can see just a few losses there. I think if you count that one, well, that was the first loss. And the rest of these are mostly smile faces. There's a couple losses in there. So, but for the most part, everything is a smiley face or a squiggly face, which means, it wasn't a bad, you didn't go right to a loss, I guess is what I'm saying. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in this target flow trading system, the scalper, this is the way to go to use this. Now, again, your money management's a great little feature here. Let me just show you that. And this is where you can adjust it, right? So let's just change it to $350. Push OK. Now watch this number. Change from 2 to 15. So then we would obviously put 15 in here. And market conditions are 46. So we're going to change these to 46. And that should give us roughly 345. We said, 350. So we could obviously jump it up to 16 if you wanted to. So, that's obviously pretty high to trade positions. If you got a big account, that's fine. But to me, I'm always about, $150 to $200 is my risk per trade. But you can see, through the first hour and a half, we had a lot of signals that happened in 2 hours in the market. If you take 2-3 trades and you're good in the money, be done. Don't take the risk of saying, hey, this usually averages 75 to 80%. I've got 3, 4, 5 wins in a row. Why risk it? A loss is eventually going to come because the odds are with any trading system that you're 70 to 75, 80% accuracy. Eventually you'll have those losses. Take your 2 or 3 wins, get out of the market, be done. So anyway, guys, check out the description to go see targetflowtrading.com. You can buy the indicator there, monthly subscription, $10 a month. You also get access to Discord. So you're ready to go. You can start trading this. Tells you when to get in, when to get out, how much money market to put in. And it's a very profitable system as long as you're consistent with taking your signals and where to get in and get out. Thanks, guys.